that's your phone. Everyone's phone, they're trying to figure out what's going on. Oh my goodness. Oh Lord. Okay, hey Renee, can you see me now? I'm sorry. It's just, oh, thank you for still being here, Liz. It's just one of those things you just have to laugh with, because you know what? Spectrum is having a moment. And, or if it's not that, they're trying to make certain that I go all the way to 9:30 since I was trying to change my time zone. So we will just roll with the punches. We'll just keep doing it. I know Angelo popped back in, and the other person, do you know who that was by any chance? I don't think I know who that other individual was, but hopefully she will pop back in on this session. But as I was saying, the artist to that song was Yoli. Her name is spelled let me make certain, Y-O-L-I, Tamu, T-A-M-U. And she created the soundtrack to Deliver Us from Eva. And her theme song, I guess you can say, for that track was Ain't No Stopping Sunshine. Y'all remember that? Yeah, y'all remember that? I love that video. And my favorite to her, that whole track, was Breathing Underwater. Man, if you have not heard that, get this right. I personally got an opportunity to meet her, and man, you're talking about somebody down to earth and cool. I met her through Trina. She's Trina's niece, and she gave me an autograph too, autograph CD. So I invited her to join our session. She lives in California, as I was saying before. Spectrum decided to snatch us. So, but if you have not heard her song, listen to it. I encourage you to listen to it. But that one that we just played was called Back to Me. Back to Me is I'm going to go back to it or reference it closer to the end of our segment. But tonight, I am so glad I'm back. I'm so glad you guys are joining me. It is so exciting. I wish I could say that I took a week of rest. That didn't happen. But it's okay. It was all for a good cause, and I had a fabulous week, and I had a fabulous time of celebrating with people. So, on to our topic. Tonight's topic is past hurt. Past hurt. I'm going to ask and encourage everyone to please share the video. Please invite friends and family. Please remind those that were on here that we are back for now. And so we are going to be talking about past hurts. How long is too long? Past hurts. How long is too long? Again, our theme artist was Back to Me by Yoli Tamu. Now, as always, guys, while we're chiming in, let me do my promos and get all of that out the way. I am Juanita McDonald with Rediscover Me. Our primary focus is to inspire women to rediscover the me that she wants to be. And we stand on the 3 pillars of lost identity plus lost self-esteem equals lost purpose and direction. And all the services that we provide is to help inspire the woman to rediscover the me that she wants to be. And so we deal with that mind, the mental allegory, that big old F word, which is fear. And through those services, we provide speaking engagements. We have 2 specialty workshops that we engage individuals. That's about an hour and a half long. And we have a 5 to 8 week training session for groups of people. We also offer blogs and webinars. And so tonight, with tonight's topic, the only disclaimer that I want to remind everyone is that with the changes that we are making, and we're still working on some things, we're designing this platform for it to be a place where women will have the opportunity to come to express themselves, to talk about different things. And each of us, you and I, can provide positive advice, positive advice that will help them to think about what they want to do, how they want to do it, who they really are. And if they don't know who they are, providing steps that will help them to reach it. And remember, it's not something that happens overnight. It is not something that happens overnight. It's something that we have to work toward each and every day. Focusing on what inspires us, what makes us our heart beat, what can we see in something that nobody else can see. So all of that is the uniqueness of us, and more and more. So that's what we focus on. So with that being said, hey Angela, thanks for coming back. With that being said, let's please be mindful. Let's please also think about the other person. If it was you, how you would want. So that's what I ask everyone. So with all of that out of the way, and we have Angela, we have Elizabeth. Hopefully our regulars will eventually chime in. Let's get it started, ladies. Let's get it started, okay? Now, when we talk about the past hurt, I wanted to, I put a couple of things down, and no better person for me to talk about or use as an example than myself. No better person. So when I went to last year, 2016, not last year, 2015, I was in a car accident in December. Totaled out my daughter's car. And when I went through that accident, I was hurt and injured, didn't know it. And, and I'm leaving out a lot of stuff. But where I had the accident at, every time I came down that road, I get to the traffic lights, I fringe up, I get scared, and so I drive a little bit slower. So anybody that have ever been in a car accident, you probably have the same, mental blockage. And so every time I drive down that street, or if not in that particular area, a couple of stoplights within that area, I tense up. My mind has compartmentalized the accident. My mind compartmentalized the pain. My mind compartmentalized the hurt. Now, when we go further back, the other thing that I went through was that the mortgage crash, when I told everyone that about the story of losing everything, losing my house, having to go live with my daughter, and having to reestablish who I was. That pain and that time was very tremendous. And with my friend, I was telling her about how I would just find myself in the corner crying, asking God, why did I have to go through this? What did I do wrong? Why did I go wrong? Why did all of this happen? And in the midst of talking about that and reliving it, I would, after starting to rebuild myself up, moving and trying to get my life back together, I couldn't move from that pain. I was still stuck. I was still compartmentalized. I was still, latching on. And now I didn't latch on. Now the car accident happened in 2015, and I'm a lot better. But hey, Tiffany, how are you? But even though, I'm sorry about the connections, Angela, we are dealing with Spectrum. But with the car accident, with the car accident, I sprung back a little bit faster. But with losing everything, it took me some years, because, as you already know, and the last part of it is that the relationship was a part of that major crash, the relationship. And so that was the stuck mode. That was the stuck mode. And remember, I've always said it took me almost 7 years to rebuild myself back up. And so that's where we're getting to the topic of how long is too long. Ladies, in your opinion, how long is too long for you and I to dwell in hurt and pain? How long is too long? So that's our very first question. How long is too long to deal in hurt and pain? So what do you think? My favorite word, what do you think? Is it a year? Is it, a minute? You know how you get in conversations and people like, oh, get over it. Everybody lose a house every day. Everybody get in a car accident every day. Everybody lose a no good man every day. Unless he's a good one. So how long is too long to dwell in past hurt and pain? Is there a time frame? What do you think? As you ladies are typing that in, I will go on to the definition. The definition of past hurt. That definition states past is participle. Past is participle or tense. Past is participle or tense. Hurt, present participle. Hurt is a present participle. And so the definition is, if you hurt someone or something, you damage them or make them feel pain. Tiffany says 7 years. Okay. Tiffany says, I got stuck after a dump, hurting, gained weight, and it was over a year. I got over him. The way I got done. 7 years is too long. Yeah. I can agree with you. I knew 7 years was too long, but why? I don't know. But there is, yes, I do. The why is the fear. The fear was shame. The fear was disappointment. The fear was the heart and the love and the building. Let me go back. Renee says, a year. I think the longer you dwell on it, the longer you're giving it a purpose. And I gave it purpose. I gave it bold purpose. Elizabeth Hall says, that one for me is a tough one to answer. I don't think there is a specific time frame. Different situation affects us all differently. And that's what I'm saying, because when I reference the 7 years, yes, you do, Tiffany. You do have to get over it. But okay, let's just, to give you a little bit of a background as far as with me, especially with the relationship part of it and the house part of it. With the house part, I had waited. Well, basically everything. When I Elizabeth can attest to this. When I first moved here to South Carolina, it was after divorce, and so basically, I was here with my 5 children, so therefore I did not jump into a relationship. I didn't want to have anyone in and out my house because I have predominantly girls, and so I didn't do a lot of things. So by the time I did begin to date, and by the time I did buy my house, I had waited and waited. And so I felt like this was my time. And I felt like, okay, Lord, I made these sacrifices. I've waited. I've done things what I thought was the right way. And so then I did it as I financially increased and as I expanded myself. And so when you calculate that time frame, and then when you calculate the years into a relationship, that plays a major factor. And so that's why I would agree with Liz. It's hard to say how long is too long for me. It would all depend on the person and what they are going through. But I also know that I shouldn't have taken that long. But for me, when I took it that long, I not just had the hurt and the pain, I had the rebuilding in there, because this time I was going to find out who I was. That was the biggest part. I wanted to find out who I was. So you guys chime in on that. Hey, Miss Carmen, how are you? And I hope you're feeling better. I've seen one of your posts about your eye, and you didn't, in Saturday night. So I hope everything's doing well for you. Miss Carmen says, I don't dwell on the past. It is over, and if it is a relationship that goes bad, there were indications before that. In fact, I was probably ready to end it. You know what, Miss Carmen, you are a spunk. I love that. I'm over it as soon as I say goodbye. Let me see. What do we do? Life is too short to give someone power over my emotions or mine. And that is true. Everything that you're saying is so, so true. And I think what we do, Miss Carmen, is that when you're getting, if you've never been in a real relationship, or been in a relationship that, when you're in a relationship and you give a lot, I think we give too much, and so therefore things get taken, and so we feel like we have invested into that, and investing into that relationship is like what we don't want to lose. And so that's where that mind becomes stuck. So that's what I think may be the problem. Oh my goodness. And it looks like my session is frozen again. I don't know what we're gonna do with Spectrum tonight, but we're experiencing major technical difficulties. Okay, ladies, if y'all can hear me, say something, please. Okay. Okay, Renee, you're saying it's not. Oh, it's not what? Okay, it's really bad. It's like very slow. It's not streaming whatsoever. It's not frozen on your end? It's frozen on my end down here. Yeah, it's frozen. Okay, Liz, maybe it's just me and over here. I don't know. I know one day Time Warner need to come back to Columbia. We were complaining about them, but they need to come back. Because Spectrum is getting on my nerves. Yeah, I'm looking at a big old frozen picture over here on the other monitor. But all right, let's move forward. If you can hear me, give me some, let me know, and I'll keep going forward. Because I was about to say, okay, I guess we have to do this another night. But okay, with that definition that I was giving, when you think about the hurt, I guess is where I'm going, but let's jump back in. When you think about your hurt, what initiate a major pain or hurt in your life? What do you think, what do you know initiated your major hurt and your major pain? What do you think, what do you know here initiated? I told you 3 of mine. The biggest, the last one, the last 3 were like the biggest ones. So what were initiating pains that? Okay, and who is driving? Okay, I don't know who that is. You're absolutely correct. I hate this new company. So yeah, it's ridiculous, and so never had that, but we seem to be having it a lot now. Well, maybe I just never noticed it since I wasn't doing live videos. So who knows? But all right, going back. Let's get back on track. Miss Carmen says the only relationship I'm willing to invest in is my children, and they all know what is expected and how to get things done. Second is my financial security. My financial security is, sorry about that. And my financial security is another, and it is never discussed with anyone. Wow. You know what, Miss Carmen is those are some powerful statements. And Miss Carmen, when you think about it, and ladies, this is why Rediscover Me is so important. Statements such as what you are providing with us, Miss Carmen, it gives us something to think about, the perspective, because you came from a different generation, I would say, than we did. or from me, from a couple of the ladies. And I think what we're looking at is basically how we each were raised. And some of us, like for me, I grew up Southern, old, ways format, and you served and you took care and you provided and you nurtured and you cared. You weren't ever it's so like you really only exist to serve to a certain degree. It felt like that, but and things that I seen, and so I was like breaking the mold, so to say. But but I like what you're saying, because now what you're saying is more so my perspective, but to the degree of, like what you're saying, your children know how to defend. My children know how to defend, how to care for themselves, and they're quite sound. And so I focus more so on me now than anything. So thank you for sharing that information. We really appreciate it. All right, next question about how the hurt and pain initiated. Now, if you have went through a major hurt and pain, if you have went through it, and most of us have, how did that play out in your head? How did that pain and that hurt play out in your head? Did you relive it over and over? Did you play it out? Did you, let's say, did you actually, okay, hey Angela, I guess Angela's back. A lie that was not necessary. Verification was something I already had. It was simply answer that I did not come out, truthfully. Okay. Elizabeth said, what Miss Carmen is saying for me is coming with growth and past experiences that will not allow myself to go. That's what I'm taking, Liz, as well. I totally agree. That's why I was letting her know, hey, those were some powerful statements. And so what she is saying now, what brought her to that point was a lie that was not necessary. Verification was something that she already had. Okay, she was already validated. It was a simple answer that did not come out truthfully. Yeah, and it's like when somebody tell you a lie, you all of a sudden like, okay, I'm waiting to see what that next lie is going to be, and how many what else have you been lying to me about? And so if you're like I am, it causes my antenna to jump up, So yeah, I can definitely see that. And so yeah, kudos. Thank you so much, Miss Carmen. And that goes back, that statement that I just made actually answers that question. Do you relive it over and over? Because every time I see you, and then every word that comes out your mouth from that day forward, I'm wondering like, okay, is that true? Or is that something you're making up? Is it fact? What do we stand? And so words are very, very powerful to me. They're very powerful. And so yes, I have a tendency of thinking about what it is you said or whatever, and yes, that it does play over and over in our heads. Now, why do we hold on to pain? And if you remember Tiffany, I don't know if she's still on here, she got cut off with all of this craziness here or not, but she said it's too long. Sometimes holding on to hurt and pain is too long. And I don't know if hurt and pain can be cut off immediately. Do you believe that hurt and pain can be cut off immediately? And I understand what Miss Carmen is saying. Okay, thanks, Tiffany. I don't know if hurt and pain can be cut off instantly, because there are some things that, just say for instance, I don't care if it's something that you're building up, your family, whatever. I don't see it being cut off so easily. Sometimes you may find a way to not face it Okay, I don't know if you can find a way to, if that you cannot face it. I think that it plays out, and that's one of the things that I have in here, that it'll play out. It'll find a way to, and I'm gonna read it later on, the whole entire statement. But I think that whatever you're trying to hide, put away, or compartmentalize in the back of your head, and just feel like it's not there, it finds a way of sneaking out. Okay, I think it finds a way of expressing itself. So let me read this to you. Why do you choose to stay and remain in painful states? Okay. Pain is meant to be temporary. That's similar to what Tiffany was saying. Pain should not be something that is long term. And I did state, I dealt with the pain for almost 7 years, and yes, I did. It is not meant to be permanent. It is meant to only be temporary. I cannot pronunciate this person's name, but his first name is Jared, and practically everything I pulled was from his article, Painful Experiences Only Hurt Us When Held On Too Long. So his name is Jared, and he states that the truth is these uncomfortable aspects we've subconsciously kept hidden away always become illuminated at some point, because these aspects want to be seen, heard, and healed. So do you believe what he said? He's saying that uncomfortable aspects that we subconsciously keep in the back of our mind find a way to illuminate itself at some point and forces itself to be seen, heard, and it wants to be healed. Do you believe that is true? And one of the words that I found that relates to that is called residual damage. Residual damage. I thought that was so cool. I'm like, wow, I never thought about that, residual damage. What do you think about that expression and that definition of residual damage? I need to circle that because I'm going to be working a little bit more on that one. Do you think it's a possibility that well, it is a possibility, but what are steps? Now we already know that each of us go through that stage of trying to deal with those issues and how and trying to get over, because generally when you go through a situation, the first thing that you and I try to do is get over it. We try to automatically get over it. But is there a way to get over it quickly? Not saying quickly, but what are steps to get over the relationship? Liz says that when you are lied to, you will forever question the individual's integrity. No hurt and pain cannot just be pushed away if your true feelings are involved. It will live in our subconscious mind, and there are certain things that trigger those feelings. I believe what you just said to be very true. Thank you, Liz. Yeah, it residual damage, and that's what I'm using that word a lot now, residual damage, because when I read it and when I started thinking about it, I was like, yeah, that residual damage, and it goes back to the word that I was before our session started, transferable baggage. You and I become damaged off of somebody else's brokenness. That residual damage transfers over to us, and we carry it. And the whole entire time we have put it in the back of our mind. Now we go on with the makeup, and we go on with the expressiveness of how we carry ourselves, and project that image that we're fine. We got it going on. My world is perfect. I'm not letting anything get me down. I'm perfect. I'm great. And all behind closed doors, those tears, those issues, those lonely nights, not being able to function, trying to figure out how to keep away from situations and people, and basically going into your inner prison, and that is in here somewhere, but shutting yourself off and going into your inner prison, whether it's your home, whether it's a specific bar that you go to, or whatever it is that is your comfort zone. You go there and you place yourself there and you stay, right? And that residual damage plays itself out and you try to cover it up. Miss Carmen says, yes, hurt and pain can be set aside. If you have a toothache, you tend to stick your tongue into the... Yes, I know that one perfectly. Once I find that someone is attempting to use me by a lie or other avenues, we are done. Other avenues, we are done. We're done. In my eyes, you no longer exist. I might be polite, but you will never anywhere. The more you think about it, the longer it takes. So find something else to occupy your mind. Again, you are allowing someone else to control your mind. And that, yes. And that's what we do. And that's what I did. That's what we do. That's what I did. And the whole entire time, again, projecting. Well, in the beginning, I didn't project that I was fine. I was, I tried to talk about it, but the more I talked about it, I broke down and cried. So I just stopped talking about it, period. And so, but I thought that moving away would separate me from the situation. But what the separation did, even though I separated from the situation, I didn't separate from my mind and the visual and the images and all the things that was kept, again, playing out over and over. And me questioning my actions and what I did and how I did it and did I do it the right way. I do believe that self-evaluation is really important. And so that self-evaluation gives you the opportunity to take a wholehearted assessment. Now think about it, ladies. Let's think about, you and I probably know someone who has got out of a relationship this day and got into another relationship that the next day, or I'm just making that as an illusional statement. But when you jump in and out of a relationship, whatever caused that relationship to break down and you get into another relationship, have you really healed? You haven't healed yourself. You haven't even taken an assessment. You're projecting whatever was comfortable for you in that relationship into the new relationship. And then you start getting upset because this particular person don't function like that particular person. So, healing is one of those, hey, Barbara, how are you? Okay. Yeah, so I'm glad you're just not getting here. We've been having all of these issues. Barbara, we're talking about past hurt. How long is too long? I'm going to stay a little bit longer. It's almost 10 o'clock, but I'm going to stay longer because the internet went out and we've been having so many difficulties. So you didn't get a chance to hear the song. I apologize for that, but you can hear it later on. I'm going to play it as we going out, hopefully. But it's called Past Hurt, How Long Is Too Long. And the song is by Yoli Tamu. And it's Back to Me. So try to check that out, okay? She's actually the artist that sung Deliver Us from Eva. But some of the things that we talked about, Barbara and everyone else, just to give a quick recap for Barbara, we talked about how past hurts, how a person, myself, been in that little stagnant state for almost 7 years. I stayed in a stagnant state for 7 years, dealing with the pain and the hurt. And so basically our conversation was how long is too long. Miss Tiffany said that, about a year should be enough, but we shouldn't go longer. That 7 years is too long. And I totally agree with her. 7 years is too long. But the heart of the problem is that when you don't, I guess you could say when the pain, the thing that actually keeps you there a little bit longer depends on how you in the relationship, that particular relationship was or is or was. And so, and then healing nobody knows the time frame that it takes a person to heal. But now Miss Carmen, if you can go back and read her comments, she's made some very strong points. Elizabeth Davis has made some very strong points. Tiffany Jordan has made some very strong points. So go back and read those. And I encourage you all to focus on, how when we do get stuck in that hurt, when we do get stuck in that pain, do we just dwell there? And you already know what my answer is. Do you just dwell in that hurt and pain? Or do you try to shake it off? Do you try to shake it off? And if you try to shake it off, how do you shake it off? And then also, do you believe that staying where you're at give the individual power over you? And that's one of the things that Miss Carmen said. Does staying in that state of mind allow that individual that helped you to get there, whether it was a situation or a person, does it allow you to him to have control of you? So chime in on that, please. Let me know what you think. As you are thinking about that, one of the questions that I have is, do you believe that your mind is more fixated on what you believe you lost? Do you believe that your mind is more fixated on what you believe you have lost? Is that why it takes us so long to move forward? Do you keep reliving? And same thing, reliving, thinking about what you did, what you brought to the table, what was so important to you? Is that where we're at on that? And if that is the case, what do you believe you lost in the relationship? What do you believe you lost? For me, I can say that I do believe I lost a part of my heart, but at the end, and to show, I lost what I really lost in that was how it was I think I lost the dream. That's what I felt like I was losing, was the dream, because it was my dream. It wasn't his. And if you guys remember, we talked about how we project images on people. They show us who they are, but unfortunately, we see the image that we've already created. Yeah, so hey, Miss Hart, how are you? Tanya Hart. Okay, how are you doing? Thank you so much for joining us. But yeah, and even though we know that pain is meant to be temporary, moving past it is very, very difficult. So ladies, what do you do to get over your pain? Let's transition. What do you do to get over your pain? Let's see if we can help each other. Well, okay, Liz say those experiences make us stronger as we move on in life. Yeah. And Liz, they do, and that's one of the things that I found. Angela says sometimes it depends on who ends the relationship first. Reject makes us feel like something is wrong with us. It is a bad self-esteem. It affects us so bad with our self-esteem. That much I can say. Yeah, Renee, you shop too much. Oh Lord, yeah. But shopping is a form of therapy, I guess you can say. Yeah, it's a form of therapy. I'm sorry. I guess with that freezing, I forgot. I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. But so, and I guess, Angela, one of the things why I'm asking about the suggestions that we can give to one another is so that way the self-esteem isn't lost so greatly, you know, that we keep ourselves lifted up and inspired through bad times, I guess is the word I'll use. Keeping ourselves inspired during those bad times. How do we keep that going, and how do we keep ourselves from going down? Now, what I will say, the ladies that are on here, Angela, Elizabeth, you know, you guys are great friends of mine, so that gives me, you know, we can actually have those intimate girl talks. But what about women that don't have someone that they can talk to? Okay, Miss Murray said women consistently redo themselves in order to get along with what the man wants. Oh, no, she didn't. They tend to stop doing the things that were of interest to them and appease the man. I did that during my marriage. Gosh. Then I realized it was time. To return to myself. I did it without hesitation. There is no doubt that it was the best. I told him we were getting a whoa. I did just that. You know, Miss Carmen, I wished I knew you long time ago. Barbara said, first that was the case for me because I felt like I had lost everything. But now if I am in a relationship and it doesn't work out, I ask God to shield my heart and go on. Okay. And I can say I definitely prayed that, Barbara, and prayed it and all, but I still couldn't get past it, you know? And every time I thought I was, or every time I felt like the memory was coming back, I quoted scripture, I prayed, I took a walk. You know, I did the things to keep my mind from focusing on it. I did it. I didn't just linger there and wallow in it and go on and on and on. I tried to move past it. So that's why I'm asking, what steps do we take? Renee says she shopped. Miss Carmen, Miss Carmen is giving each and every one of us some words of wisdom tonight. And going back to that, we did a segment, Miss Carmen, called Funeral. I don't know if you've heard about it, if you had an opportunity to watch that video. If you haven't, I encourage you to go back and watch it. It speaks specifically about what you just posted, and that was one of the things that I learned on this walk. And we did exercises because the main thing that most of us came out saying was that we did not realize that we could bring our old self with us into the marriage. We did, as women, we did not know that we had the right to still be, footloose and fancy free. We felt like we had to rechange. We had to change up and become that image of our mom, or become that image that was on television, or whatever, Okay, great. And you were right on point. It just caused us to be there. And so, and I just remember saying, oh, I can't dance anymore. Oh, I can't, I have to be specific on what I do and how I do it because of the image that I was trying to project in, and I don't miss anything that I did. I don't take away from that, but I just realized that I lost me trying to be something that I really wasn't. So that's one of those things. So thank you, Miss Carmen. Oh, wow. But Barbara, going back to that statement, again, it says here that our pain is supposed to only be temporary, and we supposed to find a way. Well, it didn't say that we supposed to find a way. It just says pain is meant to only be temporary, and pain is also meant to teach us something. And that much I believe. I believe that it's only supposed to be temporary, and I believe there's supposed to be a lesson in it. But I also know that you and I may hold on just a little bit longer than we should, a little bit longer than necessary. Angela says, I try not to stay stuck. I try to keep moving, feel what I feel, get up the next day, get up the next day and do it again until the pain is gone. I just can't stay down too long. I love that spirit about you, Angela. Miss Carmen says, as you said in the beginning, being Southern women, you tend to obey the rules. Jamaican are, let you say, Caribbean women are raised to be strong. Sometimes we are looked at as being hard to handle. Well, I don't think, and you're right. From a male's perspective, finding and being around a bold, boisterous woman can deplete that male ego. And so you're right. And when women do find their voice, then that individual is looking and wondering, okay, what happened to her? What happened to her? You know, she done made a change, and then all of a sudden we start having issues, or we crazy. You know, we got major problems. So, you know, it's funny, but the things that are said when we finally take our voice back. And that's really what it is you find yourself and you find your voice and you start using it. Yeah, then he is the one who is insecure and will pass it off. Yes, that's right. Exactly. You're so correct. Oh my goodness. All right. Now we're going on. Now we're going back. I'm going back to the same statement. We're going to mostly change over to one of the things that this guy said, it was that pain can propel us toward new heights, stages of awareness, but only if we decide to not remain locked inside it. Being locked inside of your pain is similar to being locked into a prison. And I, for one, can say I lived in a prison, and I put myself there. Nobody else put me there. I put myself in that prison. And it's not just from the loss that happened in 2010. I also will say it was hereditary based as well. So I definitely put myself into that prison, and I separated myself from a lot of things. So what about you? Do you feel like your situation is a form of prison, or your past situation was a prison? If it's present, is it a prison now? If it's past, was it a prison then? So what about your situation? You know, at that particular time, did you put yourself in a prison? And was it based off of being shamed? Because remember, I said mine was being ashamed, being, you know, feeling like all eyes were on me. All conversation was about me. And the letdown. Ew, what time is it? I don't know what time it is. All right, 10:06. We're going to take it about 15 minutes. Now, while we were thinking about that, I'm going to give you, I came up with 6 questions. I mean, not 6 questions, but 6 responses that I think are ways that we can help, you and I can help make certain that we deal with the situation and then do what Joelle says is find a way to help this thing, this prison that we're in, for us to escape it and to move forward in life. Okay? Number 1, the first thing I said is permit yourself to feel whatever emotional responses that arise from a painful situation. Now, Joe said that, not me. But Joe says, permit yourself to feel whatever emotional responses that arise from a painful situation. And remember, what I said was that, you know, hey, I used to start doing all the crying, and I tried to force it and try to keep myself busy and try to do all of the thing. But aren't tears supposed to be cleansing, guys? Aren't our tears supposed to be cleansing tears? It's supposed to be helping to wash away the memory, wash away the pain, wash away the souls per se, cleansing the whole entire person. So if the tears are needed, then cry. If you need to write a letter to the individual, write him or her a letter. You know, if you are unable to personally face the situation, and if you need to be face to face, then, you know, be face to face. But whatever you need to do to solve the situation or come to an understanding with it, give yourself permission, you know, to do it. Number 2, talk to someone you trust that can help you to mentally work through the painful feelings and experience. And then above all, make certain that the person is someone that you can trust. Okay? Don't just talk to anyone. Number 3, create a positive surroundings to offset your mental thoughts. And when I put down positive surroundings, I did it as a means of helping that you would think outside the box, into things that you can do. Like, I know that, like, if you had, now I hate using that word like so much, I'm sorry about that, but if you have created like the, is it foswa, what is it, I forgot the Japanese term for it, but basically you can put like a healing stream in an area where you have the sounds of the water or certain types of nature sounds that flow. That gives you an opportunity to relax and to calm your mind. I don't know if you've ever did it or not, but it's a psychological exercise that we've done in class, and it is so calming. Almost put me to sleep, one of them, but it's very calming. And so, you know, you can actually have like either music, nice cool instrumental or jazz music playing in the background that will calm your spirit. Water stream that will calm your spirits. Candles, different forms of scents, they calm your spirit. So that's why I put in there, create positive surroundings to offset your mental thoughts. Number 4, explore. I know, Angela, you and Renee are probably right there together. Y'all gonna shop. Number 4, explore new adventures and experiences. What have you ever thought about doing? What have you said, oh no, that's not me, I'm not about to do that? Try it. You know, I think I want to go two things I want to do that I haven't done yet. I want to go with the Grands and check out Hot Wire. I love the jump. And the other one is to do what is that? Skydiving. Those are the 2 things I want to do. Elizabeth says that key walk to someone you talk to someone you can trust, remain positive during your storms. Yes. That's the key. Yeah, exactly, Liz. Zumba is fun. And Angela, you know what? I got it on my list. Treat yourself personally. Treat yourself personally the way you deserve to be treated. Have you ever did that? Have you ever just treated yourself? Not waiting for someone to do it, not hoping that someone would do it, not sitting there saying, well, you know what? Sending these little mental thoughts and notes and things around, hoping they catch on to what you're thinking. Have you ever just did it for yourself? And we've all seen these little television shows that says go take yourself out on a personal date. Do some of the things, yes, all the time. Yeah, exactly. You love yourself. I love me. And it's time. It's just time, you know? It's just time to do something special for you. Go and buy that expensive ring. Go and do it. Invest in something expensive that you never would have ever done before. Hey, Regina, I seen you. And number 6, Do something funky. Do something funky. Like take a dance class. Zumba, as Angela said. Fencing. You know that I see they have a fencing class. Do something funky. Barbara said, that's why I am so glad that you started this program, because it's a lot of women has been hurt and can't move forward with their life because of what they've been through. And trying to find a friend you can trust to talk to is very hard, because you don't know if they will go behind your back. Barbara, people will. They hear my story every day, and they talk about what I say, but you know what? Can't nobody tell my story like I tell it. And when they talk, I said, did you get it right? Okay. As long as you got it right, that's cool. You know, so basically it's like I take my energy back. I have learned to take my energy back. Miss Carmen says, women need to learn how to be alone with themselves for at least several months. Yes. Go a solo lunch, a dinner date, travel alone. You will meet people and have a great time. I travel alone many times and come back and great. Man, I'm going to tell you something. Hey, me and Miss Barbara, Miss Carmen, you're going to have to put you on the other side of this bench right here. We're going to have some double segments. You are so on point. It is like, man, Toastmasters would probably have darts thrown it at me right about now. But it is the most fabulous thing to do things for self. It is the most fabulous thing to do things for self. And think about it from this perspective, ladies, if you're hesitant on it. If you are waiting for someone that you're close to, and it doesn't matter whom that individual is, if you were waiting for them, just say for instance, if you're working on a project and you need help with that particular project, and you've asked a specific person to help you and they were hesitant, and you had to ask them again and they said, I'm coming. And if you keep waiting and then all of a sudden you're too late and you're in trouble, what would have happened if you had just went ahead and did what you needed to do to the best of your abilities? What would you have accomplished? What would you have accomplished? You see, one of the things that I believe, and one of the things I know, I've had, number one is I had to grow up. I grew up with, as the oldest grandchild, to 6 uncles. So it was, you had to learn several different things growing up with a bunch of men. That's number one. You had to learn how to fight. You had to learn how to survive. You had to learn how to stand on your own 2 feet, because they hard knocks, and my uncles are hard knocks. And so what I have learned is that I will ask you to help me, and if you do, that's great. I'm thankful. If you don't, it's not going to stop me. I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to keep moving, and I'm going to make whatever it is I want to happen, happen. I see that in my friend Elizabeth Davis. I see her pushing, you know, and she'll tell you, you will not, there's nothing you can take from her unless she give you permission to do it. And that's it. You know, I refuse to give up now. I won't give you my energy. I won't give you my my sanity. I won't give you my joy, my laughter, my peace. I am now the woman that Miss Carmen has been describing. I am her now. And it is my hope that each of you will become her. It is my hope that each of you will become her. And as I've always said, I don't say anything to take away from the men, because I love men. I want, you know, I want relationships, but I won't have a relationship that will control me. And I won't have a relationship that will cause me to be stuck into the point where I can't function. You don't have that type of power. And so that's why I encourage each of you. And I'm thankful for this platform as well, Barbara. Thank you so much. And I hope that what we are doing here with Rediscover Me is making an impact on you. I'm praying that I provide positive topics, and that everything that we do helps you in some form or fashion. Miss Carmen says, the last thing I have to say is this. Women tend to wait for the man to select him. Turn it around. But before you engage that person, do some investigating on him and his background. Yes, Lord. The last part, definitely make sure you do your homework. Do your homework intensely. Thank you so much, Miss Carmen. I hope you have a good night. Angela and I just had we have one of our church members, our church sister, shared with us how she told us the same thing, Miss Carmen. She said, stop waiting around. Go out there and get your man. And she said, and she shared with us how she went and got her man. She went and got her man, and she's been married to him for years. So we might need to reassess ourselves, ladies. Miss Carmen is so right. How can you ever meet Mr. Right if you continue to be with Mr. Exactly? Life is too short to be sitting at home waiting for a man. Enjoy. Exactly. And Angela, when I say Angela, Barbara, when I say Angela is a free spirit, Angela is a free spirit. She is all over the place. She's having fun. She's enjoying herself. She's living life as you should be. He must be, Miss Carmen, he has to be financially secure. That's a must. Exactly. I agree. That's a must. We need to get over that hurdle first. Then we can move on to all the other things. All right, ladies. All right, ladies. It is 10:20. It is 10:20, and I am going to I'm turning this song back on so we can kind of close it out. I want you to hear this song, even though unfortunately I couldn't actually play it that well in the beginning. So can y'all hear it? That song is by all right, I'm trying to turn it down some. Okay, as it is playing in the background, I want you to know, I wanted it to play as we're toning out. That song is by Yoli Tamu. Yoli is, and the title of it is Back to Me. And she sung Ain't No Stopping Us. Ain't No Stopping Sunshine from Deliver Us from Eva. And I met her several years ago, and I still keep in contact with her. We're through social media because she lives in California, and I invited her to check out this segment. I hope I wasn't on the wrong time zone with her, but I did invite her. She's supposed to have been the surprise that I had for you ladies, but Spectrum. But I was so anxious for you guys to personally get an opportunity to meet her. I reached out to her, and Yoli was going to join us in this segment tonight. So I think Spectrum knocked this out, and I apologize for that. But I met her years ago and she's I don't think she's an Alabama native, but her father's an Alabama native, and their relatives live in Enterprise, which is right down the street from our hometown. And so she just came out with this new updated song. Ladies, if you have not listened to her whole album, check out the song called Breathing Underwater. Breathing Underwater. It is so, so intense. I love that song. I'm going to listen to it after I get out of here. But, Exactly. And that's what I wanted to leave with you guys. It's time for us to turn our eyes back on ourselves and not be stuck in whatever situation we are dealing with. YouTube that song, okay, guys? And check her out. It has been so wonderful. I am so thankful that you guys tuned in. And as I always say, tomorrow's Friday. We got a lot going on here in Columbia. I want you guys to have a wonderful, wonderful time, wonderful, an extraordinary, restful, peaceful night. And tomorrow, be positive, encourage someone, be respectful, and remember that our Heavenly Father loves you, and so do I. Yes, Miss Carmen is a mess, and now that she's given her background, I understand why she is. Like, she was raised that way, and I give her, kudos to her. All right, love you guys, love you Barbara, love you Liz, love you all the new people that came on. I didn't see the name, I've lost them. You too, Angela, thank you so much.